Hey guys, I'm back. This is my second live stream, so as promised, we're going to talk about finger detangling versus detangling our natural hair using a tool like a brush or using a tool like a comb or those fancy detangling products they have on the market now that, essentially are tools for detangling natural hair. So I hope that we have a great discussion about this, and I hope you guys will share with me by commenting and letting me know what your preferred method of detangling is. I believe that when it comes to natural hair, there are no rights, no wrongs. You have to do there are some rights and wrongs, but ultimately, when it comes down to it, you have to make the choice for yourself. And you have to decide what methods, what techniques work best for your life and, your lifestyle and your head of hair. So, the reason I'm doing this particular topic is because on my Instagram, I posted a picture where I posed the question, finger detangling versus using a brush, which is better? And a lot of people commented on my Facebook page and then also on my Instagram, sharing with me their favorite method of detangling. And everybody had a different method for a different reason. So I thought it would be cool to kind of talk about this in a live stream on the channel so we could kind of expand the conversation and then archive it here so that folks who have these questions in the future, hey Felicia, can look at the video and get insights from everyone else around, why they do what they do, what works best for them, and that sort of thing. Now, I have done both techniques. So I have finger detangled for a really long time, and then also I have used tools for a long time. And so I'm going to share some of my experiences, but I'm going to start out with kind of sharing some of the pros and some cons, I guess, when it comes to doing each method. And then ultimately, I'm going to leave it up for you guys to decide. Again, it's about you, it's about your hair. There are no rules. It's just hair, folks. All right. So say hi to me when you guys enter the room. Don't forget to thumbs up if you like this topic and you'd like to have more conversations around natural hair topics like these or, other topics in general. If you have a suggestion for upcoming video, leave those in the comment section below and I will schedule it for an upcoming live stream. I don't usually do middle of the week live streams. I tend to do them every Sunday. And so every so often I like to just come in here and connect with you guys because I love talking with you guys this way. This platform is just so awesome because we have that feedback going back and forth and I just love it. All right. So I'm going to jump right into the topic and we'll kind of go from there. So I'm going to start off with finger detangling. And I wrote my little notes because I really wanted to be reflective about this and kind of really share with you guys my true kind of experience with each technique. All right, so again, I'm going to start off with finger detangling, then I'm going to move to the pros of using a brush or a tool. Cookies and Chocolate said, my method to use my fingers instead of a comb. Okay, all right. It's gonna be so interesting to see if more people do one thing opposed to the other. So once we kind of get through the discussion about what you guys do, hey Curly DZN, how are you, girl? Sis, I have medium fine hair and have a gap in my teeth as well. We kind of look alike. All right, girl. Fine hair, gap, sisterhood. What can we say? We're part of the fine hair army because we are so underrepresented. Okay, I'm not going to get on that. That's another conversation. But I feel like fine hair naturals are not really well represented sometimes, but we'll talk about that another time. But I'm so glad you joined us today, hun, and I guess I meet my doppelganger or my twin. So after we talk about this, I'm also going to share what products have worked really well for me when I finger detangled and what products work really well for me when I use a tool. Maybe they're the same products, maybe they're not. I don't know. You guys will have to see. But ultimately, again, want to present the information, then have you guys decide for yourself what will work best for you. All right. So when it comes to finger detangling, one of the greatest benefits. So one of the greatest benefits to me was that it was pain free. So I finger detangled my hair solely for the entire first, oh, what was it? The first year and a half to 2 years, maybe even a little more than 2 years of my natural hair journey. And I mean, like, my fully natural hair journey. Prior to that, I transitioned for 15 months. And during the 15 months, I think maybe I did a combination of both, using a tool and finger detangling. But once I cut off all of my relaxed ends, I finger detangled only for about a year and a half to 2 years, and absolutely loved it because I'm tender headed, y'all. And it was just much easier, less painful for me to finger detangle my hair. So that is definitely, to me, one of the pros. You don't have to worry about using a tool and like happening upon a knot and not knowing it's there, and have, the comb or the brush kind of rake through the hair, break the hair, that kind of thing, and hurt your scalp at the same time. So because of the fact that um it was less painful, that for me was a real pro, because you can actually feel where your knots are, and then you can work around them and negotiate, kind of take your time to work through them. The next thing I really liked about finger detangling is that it causes less breakage. So because of the fact, as I mentioned, when you use a comb or you use a brush and you're raking through those knots, or you're raking through the kinks, or maybe you have some matting going on, you're more likely to do damage to your hair, because first of all, you're gonna be impatient. How many of y'all have done that? I have done it. You're like, ugh. Brushing your hair angry. So you're less likely to weaken the hair, because that's what's going to happen over time. Because when you rake through it like that, you're stretching the hair, especially if it's wet. So you're really stretching it. You're causing it to weaken, and then it's more likely that you're going to break and damage the hair while you're, hey, Mandy girl. Hey, kisses to you too. But it's more likely that you're going to have breakage as well. And you'll know you have breakage opposed to the hair naturally shedding, because when you look at the end of the hair, if it's naturally shedding, you'll have that little bulb on the end that was under your scalp. But if you don't see that, you just see, the hair is smooth, and then it just has sort of broken off, like if you cut it with scissors, and it's just no bulb there, then that means that was breakage. That hair came out because you caused some damage to the hair. So I really like that. And I feel like, again, the fact that you're able to have less breakage because you're able to feel where those knots are, and you can kind of work around them, or you can start at the end and then gently begin to separate through the hair through that knot. Whereas if you had a comb, you would just rake through it. The other thing I like is also related to less breakage. So if you're using your fingers, because you're not raking through the hair, it's less likely that you're going to or it's more likely that you're going to retain the length of your hair. So if you have fine hair like I do, or even if you have a very, densely packed hair, or you have a very sort of tightly coiled hair, very kinky hair, um, it's going to be very difficult for you to retain the length of your hair when you're using a tool on a regular basis. Because again, by, combing angry, you know what? I have to laugh because I've done that with my daughter. Sit still. And then go through. But I'm not thinking about the fact that I am probably causing damage to her hair. That ain't good. Anyway, or I was when she was younger. Thank goodness she does her own hair now. But yeah, so one of the benefits is that you're able to get more, or have more length retention, because you're not doing activities that would weaken the hair or cause breakage over time. So for those reasons, I really do like finger detangling. I feel like it is a great method. Hey Maya. Hey Maya, my goddaughter is on here, y'all. You have to check out her channel. She just started her own YouTube channel. I'm so proud of her, but I just want to say hey. All right. But yeah, so one of the things that I really like is that finger detangling is just so ideal for really, really, tightly coiled hair, etc. And then also really fine hair because those hair types are the most fragile. And so by going through and just detangling that hair and patiently working your way through, you're going to cause less damage to the hair. You're going to keep the hair healthier overall, which means that you're going to have more length retention. So I really, really like finger detangling for that reason. So those are the pros. The cons are that it can take a really long time, especially if you have a lot of hair. I don't have a lot of hair. I have only medium density hair, so it does not take me a long time to finger detangle my hair. But if you're someone like my daughter, you guys have seen Miora's hair. She has very dense hair. Her hair is thick and she just has a lot of hair. So finger detangling takes her a super long time. So there is a time requirement involved. So that would probably be the biggest con in my opinion. Now, when it comes to using a brush or a comb versus finger detangling, I would say one of the benefits of using a brush or a comb, especially a brush, like this one, like a Denman brush, which a lot of naturals use because, it has all these teeth in it. You can modify it. Like, as you see, mine is a modified brush. So I remove every other row. And that just works best for my fine hair. I think it works best also for really, really dense hair because your hair isn't getting caught on every single tooth in the brush. But brushes like these, not so much combs in my opinion, but brushes like these allow you to be much more thorough when it comes to detangling the hair. And that means that you're going to release more of the shedding hair more easily. When you finger detangle, you're not really able to release all of the shedding hair as thoroughly as you would be if you used a Denman brush or one of those other detangling brushes. I don't like those other detangling brushes, by the way. I prefer a Denman, but yeah, it's much more thorough. The other benefit of using a hair tool, and I will specifically say Denman brushes or detangling brushes, is that you're able to accomplish the detangling session much quicker than finger detangling. You literally, when I use a brush, and I don't have a lot of issues with detangling my hair, but it takes me probably a fourth of the time than it would take if I finger detangled my hair. So, it is a lot quicker. I have this little bitty Denman brush because again, I have fine hair and, like we talked about when addressing like finger detangling, one of the cons of using this kind of brush is that it will kind of rake through the hair and you can cause more breakage. But one of the ways that I've kind of gotten around that is to get a smaller Denman brush. So this base isn't as big as like the grown-up Denman brush where, it's like, the paddle part is like this big. So it's much bigger than this. And so that means that I can be more focused in the hair I brush and I don't have to worry about these teeth catching in other parts of my hair because that was a real big problem with the larger base. So again, to get around the doing damage aspect of using a hair tool to detangle, you could try a smaller brush and that may help. Love you too, Mandy. You are so sweet. All right, so those to me are the main benefits of using a brush. It's much quicker and it's much more thorough. You're really getting all of the shedding hair that is being released from your scalp out. One of the downsides of the finger detangling is again that you're not being as thorough, so you're not able to release all of those shedding hairs as easily as if you used a brush. And if you don't remove all of those shedding hairs, it can cause you to get more single strand knots. And other types of knots in your hair, because then the hair is just getting caught up in your in your remaining hair, and it's just looking for an opportunity to tangle. So so those are the pros and cons. So what do I prefer? I honestly prefer finger detangling. I know some of you guys said already that that's your chosen method as well. And yeah, I just prefer it because you're really able to retain the length of your hair. It don't hurt. And the hair is just going to be healthier. You don't have to worry about breaking, having breakage or doing any damage to the hair. You can cause, split ends also with these. That doesn't happen when you're finger detangling. So yeah, I do prefer finger detangling, but to be quite honest, I probably use a brush more often because I'm usually busy. I'm trying to get my hair done in a quicker amount of time. So one of the things I'm going to be changing up this summer is I'm going to be transitioning back to finger detangling because my hair was healthier, and I did retain length much more quickly when I finger detangled. So I'm going to be going back to that process. All right, so the products I use for finger detangling versus using a tool don't vary all that much. One of my favorite products to use when I am finger detangling is the Kinky Curly Knot Today. I actually, this works well in both cases, but I find that it works really well with finger detangling because it just has like a lot of slip, and my fingers just go through my hair much more easily. And I like these ingredients. So, because a lot of times I like to do a little scalp massage, and sometimes I will use this because it's so light while I'm doing my scalp massage. So I don't have to worry about getting any product build up on my scalp and that kind of thing. The other thing I like actually for both ways of detangling the hair is using the Tresemme. Tresemme Naturals is, well, it's not the Naturals line anymore. That was the original, but the Tresemme Expert is so excellent. It is so inexpensive. Like, I think this large bottle was maybe $5. And it works well in both scenarios. I actually probably prefer it more when using a tool, when using like my Denman brush, opposed to when I use my fingers. But yeah, it has just such great slip that, if you're trying to prevent catching the hair as much as possible, doing damage to the hair as much as possible, then using something that has a great amount of slip is going to be so beneficial to your hair. And I just find that this one is really, really good. The other one I like for both scenarios is the Trader Joe's Tea Tree Tingle. This is like an oldie but goodie. Felicia says I use a comb sometimes, my fingers, but because I'm having hair loss, because of medication, I try to use my fingers more often. If not, I will have a handful of hair come out. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah. So that's definitely, I hadn't even thought about that, Felicia, but that's definitely another benefit of finger detangling. If you're having issues, sometimes your hair sheds more while you're on certain medications, or if you have certain health issues, if you're pregnant, a lot of times women get the postpartum shedding, and so finger detangling can be really, really helpful in those situations. Whereas, for instance, using a tool would be most effective if you're taking down a protective style. Whenever I do a crochet style, I always use one of these. And reason being that, as I mentioned before, this is just more thorough at getting that shedding hair out. When we do protective styles, our hair is up for so long that it's really important that when we do get in there, after we let those braids down, and we remove as much of that shedding hair as possible. If not, when you wash your hair, it's not going to be anything nice. You're going to have so much matting because there's going to be so much shedding hair still, in the bird's nest. That's what my hair looks like after a protective style. So So yeah, I guess, when you think about whether to finger detangle or whether to use a comb, you also have to think about how you're styling your hair as well. All right. Joanne said, after every protective style, my hair breaks. What do you think is causing that? Okay, so Joanne, it could be two things. Sometimes we think our hair is breaking because after a protective style, because our hair has just been up for so long, and we have all this shedding hair coming out. Our hair or our scalp sheds like 100 strands of hair per day. So if you imagine 100 strands of hair times however many days you had your hair up in a protective style, you will have a nervous breakdown when you take the protective style down. First time I did crochets, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. And I was like, oh, I'm just gonna jump in the shower and wash my hair. And all this hair was coming out, y'all. I thought my hair had broken off. I thought I was gonna be bald. Like, I seriously thought I was gonna be bald when I got out of the shower. And my hair just looked normal. It was all shedding hair. As I mentioned, I think in this video, because I did two videos today, but I think I mentioned in this video, if you look at the strand and if it has that little ball attached to the end, that is the ball that actually connects the hair to the scalp, and it sits below the skin. And and so that ball will come up and out, and then your hair will shed, and the strand will be released. So when you look at your hair after you protective style, take a look at it to see if you have a lot of strands that have the little ball attached. If so, that means that you're just experiencing natural shedding. Now, if you see a lot of hair that doesn't have the little ball attached, then that means that you have breakage issues. If that's the case, then you might want to think about what style you're wearing. It could be a variety of different reasons, depending upon the style. It could be that the braids are too tight and it's causing breakage, or there's too much weight on the hair and it's causing breakage. It could be that you didn't moisturize your hair, or your hair needed more moisture than you recognized it did. And so that caused the hair to really dry out, be very fragile, and then break. So you want to think about that. And then also, after protective styling, when you take your braids down and you begin to either finger detangle or use your brush, make sure that you do it section by section, wetting it with a bit of water, adding a product that has a good amount of slip, and then detangling it. So if your hair is in a fragile state, you won't cause breakage while you're detangling it. Okay, so I hope that helped. Joanne, let's see. Someone suggested that you should do a protein treatment before every protective style. Is that true? I was about to cuss. Heck yeah. Absolutely. So this is totally off subject, but if you're planning to do a protective style, you need to do a couple of things. So the first thing you should do is, okay, your protein treatment, you could probably do that a week before you get ready to do your protective style. That's fine. Or you could do it right before you do your protective style. But I'm suggesting two treatments. The first treatment, and when I was like newly natural, and I had my whole regimen worked out and I was so religious about doing these things, one of the things I always did was I scheduled a moisturizing deep conditioning treatment, and then I scheduled my protein treatment. Like, those separate activities were always on my calendar. So before you do a protective style, you want to designate, I would do it the week before your protective style. Um, Doing the protein treatment, because that's going to strengthen your hair and it's going to ready it for the coming protective style, and it will help to fortify your hair, strengthen your hair, so that when you put it away and you do whatever it is you're going to be doing to your hair, whether you're sewing other hair on, whether you're crocheting, or what have you, it will be fortified and it will have that strength. Right before you do the protective style, like if you wash your hair and then do your protective style, I would do a moisturizing um, deep conditioning treatment. And for that, I would probably use something like this, which is, you guys know this is my boo, Illucent's Moisture Balancing Conditioner. This is so awesome. It's literally, it's a multi-purpose conditioner, which is why I love it. So you can use it as your regular conditioner, you could use it as a leave-in conditioner, or you could use it as a deep conditioner. So I would suggest that, or this other product, and I know it's by Shea Moisture, and I know they've been canceled, but this 10-in-1 renewal system mask is amazing. Um, and okay, did you all see Shea Moisture's new commercial? It features men, and they got it together. Sometimes we have to give people a second chance, and the Lord I serve is a God of second chances. So I'll see if they mess up again, but this is such a good deep conditioner. It has great slip too. So the reason I had it up here was because I was going to say this is another product I like to use to detangle the hair, especially if I use a tool. So that was a long answer because I needed to give you some other information, but absolutely. You want to do that protein treatment, and then you also want to make sure that you're doing a moisturizing treatment. That way you have super hydrated hair, and you have super strengthened hair. Maya, I still love their products. I know. I saw you talk about them in your video. Maya said, yes, Joanne Clark. Every time I have a protective style, I prep my hair with a mask, and then I do the same after to protect my hair. It's definitely healthier when I take it out. Yes. Yeah. Maya actually did a video really recently that I thought was really, really good. Good girl. It was so good, but she walked, through the process of prep or caring for her hair after a protective style, which I thought was really good because I don't see a lot of videos about that. But yeah, you definitely want to prep the hair. Again, making sure that it's hydrated, and then you also want to make sure that you have that protein treatment done. And then even when you have it in, you can use your Mario Badescu on your scalp and on your hair to keep it hydrated. And I like this because when I'm doing protective styles, because I don't have to worry about my hair or my braids getting so wet that like bacteria is going to set up or anything like that, or the braids are going to be like drenched and wet and take a long time to dry. And I get paranoid because I see those little videos about people who've taken their protective style down and it's mold and stuff in there. Sometimes because they put water on their hair and the water didn't have enough time to dry, and bacteria set up and you have all this stuff. So I like to use the Mario Badescu. Like I said, it's a facial spray. It's a multi-purpose product. So I use this on my face every day, but also I use this on my hair, whether I'm doing a wash and go, or, twist out, braid out, whatever protective style. I use this on my braids, like to get close to my scalp to make sure that I'm, keeping the hair moisturized. So when I take it down, I don't have to worry about having brittle hair. All right, so yeah, those are some of my favorite products for detangling my hair, whether I'm doing a finger detangle or whether I'm doing, using a tool. So just to, I guess, kind of rehash this, when I'm using a tool, my favorite products would be the Shea Moisture 10-in-1. This is honestly the only product I like by Shea Moisture. Their products just don't work for me because, well, I won't say they don't work for me, but they don't work for my hair because I have, they have silk protein in them, and my hair just doesn't like silk protein. So it's just not a product line that I can use on a regular basis. But this purple superfruit complex is perfect. Like my hair has no issues with it. So I like to use this when I use a tool because it has a whole lot of slip. This is really good, I would say. And then also the Tresemme is really good when you're using a tool, because I feel like you want something that has a super amount of slip in it. And then when I'm finger detangling, I can pretty much use anything, but I do like the Kinky Curly Knot Today, and I do like the Trader Joe's Tea Tree Tingle for detangling my hair in that way. Oh my, I'm taking my crochets out tomorrow. I keep my hair moisturized the whole time. Oh, good, Felicia. Good, 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 good. So when you take it down, I don't know, is this the first time you've had crochets? I feel like people should warn you of the shedding you're going to experience when you take your hair down from protective style. I was not ready for all that. And the first time, I told you guys what happened. I thought I was going to be bald by the time I finished. But even when I did it the second time, I still wasn't quite prepared for the amount of shedding. Like, and it was all normal shedding. Shedding is a natural part of the life cycle of our hair, but I was taken aback. So yeah. So I hope you're prepared for that. I know, Mandy girl, it was crazy. All right. So does anybody have any questions about finger detangling versus using a brush? You know, there are pros and cons on each side. Like I said, you know, you guys have to decide kind of what will work best for you. And there's no shame, there's no judgment. You know, I feel like if you're going to use a tool, just take the precautions so that you know that you're not going to have to deal with some of the issues we talked about. If you're going to finger detangle, just know it's going to take a minute. So grab a glass of wine, not you, Maya, but grab a glass of wine. Put your favorite television show on and just spend that time finger detangling the hair. Oh, and make sure your fingernails have been filed. That's like the worst thing. Getting your fingernail caught in your hair, like either when you're styling it or when you're finger detangling, I cannot take it. Felicia said, great info, and I love this. You give out such great info. Oh, thank you, Felicia. I'm so glad to know that. I want the information to be useful to you guys. That's why I do this. So it gives me great joy to know that the information is helpful. Cookies have chocolate, says, I am a new woman. I am a new woman. I have learned so much from you today. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you for joining me. You guys make these live feeds like what it is. We're doing this together. So thank you. I'm so serious. Thank you. I love our interaction. I love this way of connecting, you know, and I still do the YouTube videos where I edit and upload and all that kind of stuff, but I like the immediate kind of back and forth. And then I get a sense of the additional kind of questions you guys have. And it ends up that we together create a video that will be more meaningful to those who watch this playback. So thank you guys for always being there and always being supportive. I love you so much. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Have a good evening. If you haven't done so already, check the video or live stream I did earlier today. I think you'll find that there's some good information there too. And after this video, I'm going to put links to anything we kind of talked about in this video for those of you who want to read more information. I highly recommend, again, that, you know, read information, learn about the products, learn about the ingredients. You're going to have a better natural hair journey when you're better educated about product ingredients and how they how your hair responds to them. And again, there are no rules. This is your hair. So use the technique that works best for you. All right. I'll see you guys later. Oh, let me remember my tagline. Remember to live, no lie, just love. Live life with no lies, just love. I'm gonna get it together one day, y'all. All right. See you guys later. Bye.